Pounders, we are back doing what we do best, and that is talking some Underdog fantasy best ball with Felix. Welcome, my dude.
What's going on?
Best Ball Nation over on YouTube. If you guys aren't already following this guy, he's a king in his own right, slaying down a huge tournament on DK 2 years ago. But you do mess with Underdog as well.
I do. But I like to use my content mainly for DK because there needs to be somebody out there, putting out the DK days.
And we need a draft board. Once there's a draft board, that will pull so many people, like
did
viewers.
You see the person who had a draft board for like 5 minutes on DK?
I heard about it. They're like testing one right now on the site, right?
That's exciting. That's super exciting. Yeah, like the guy had it for 5 minutes. I'm like, I did 2 drafts today on there, and I was like, well, maybe I'll get it on my phone. Maybe I'll be part of that next 5 minutes. No, not yet.
I'm looking forward to it just from like multiple standpoints, right? Yeah. There's a strategy standpoint where like it's easier to keep track of people that are doing crazy things, like going 3 elite QBs, whatever, and that's going to change your game plan.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. But to start off the stream, what everyone wants to know, the wide receiver dead zone on Underdog, not the JJ. Right here, anywhere from, I know people that are high on Christian Watson or that aren't drafting him at all. There seems to be no in between, but anywhere from Christian Watson to like this Godwin range. I'd be curious. Let's knock it down to Christian Watson to Christian Kirk. Who are your favorite 3 wide receivers here?
Oh man, this is tough. Favorite 3. I got 4,
to finish the highest this season.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna go with Big Mike to start off with. That's because I'm high on that offense. Yeah. And Kellen Moore coming in there, changing everything up, and then Christian Watson. And it's like I'm gonna put Drake London in there above DJ Moore, but I'm high on DJ Moore as well.
Okay. I think the news with Mooney starting off OTAs injured. I mean, it's still super early, right? But it's something to keep an eye on. Maybe now I favor clicking DJ Moore in this range. My 3 are actually surprising. So Mike Williams, I think you're actually paying for his single game spike potential. Like that single game ceiling is so high with Mike Williams. But
to be fair, there's a little bit of bias with that. He was on my game winning or my $2 million or my $1 million winning team.
All right, there it is. There is bias.
There is a little bit of bias.
I think in cash games, this is not the best value pick in this range. They add Quentin Johnston. I think this offense will be really good as well this season, but value, like who finishes, top highest out of these 3 or like top 3 in this range. I think Mike Williams, this price point, you're paying for that 30-point ceiling, which is okay in best ball. That's sort of why I think Christian Watson is ranked here too. Probably not the best value pick, but at least he is the wide receiver 1 on his team. We see Jalen Reed actually starting to really rise.
I don't get that. Yeah.
He's starting in the slot with the 1s. There might be some injuries that have to do with that. It might be a little overreaction.
It's a little overreaction,
but yeah, for sure. But I'd actually prefer probably Reed. We'll get to this. I prefer Reed over Dobbs, I think, right now.
They got rid of so many players, and it's a completely different team. You can't like look at it from like last year's lens. And I think like Torrey has it like a nobody's talking about Torrey, but he has a shot to like do something on this team. We also like don't know who exactly Love is gonna feel.
True. He's getting some early work with Aaron Jones. I saw.
Yeah,
which I like. I like that. But if I had to pick 3, I think I'm on the Watson bandwagon. Give me Judy, and I'm going with old man DeAndre Hopkins again. And this is going to be heavily dependent on a trade, though. So this is trade speculation.
Okay, so if he gets traded, it changes, right?
This is trade speculation because I think he's a riser if that happens, and do you want to get those shares later or before?
Let's say he goes to the Bills.
Thing?
Are you putting in the? Do you think that's a good spot for him? Because I don't think the Bills is a great spot for him.
I think it's
like
really
in production.
They're begging for a wide receiver too.
I know they
on
are.
The other side.
They're begging for him specifically.
He rises. He rises to this Devontae, like right here in between Smith and T. Higgins, I believe. If he ends up on the Bills, that's where I would have him ranked. Which
I probably won't get any shares then.
Right. I'd rather have those now.
Yeah.
But if I take DeAndre Hopkins out of it, like I'm fine with DJ Moore. It's going to be a matter of what's this offense? Are they going to start off the same way they did last year? Where
I don't think so. I think they kind of remember when the Lions they started off like really shitty 2 years ago, and then like they kind of found their way. I kind of think they found their way of how they're going to do stuff, and I think it's going to be more balanced now. They actually have a pass catcher. I think people are going to be like, "Oh, well, obviously, like we should have known." Like,
he's going
to go this way. And
right, right. So is this like? Is he the AJ Brown that was being drafted in? It's that's aggressive.
I agree. I would say he's
run first offense, but pick 46 feels good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm probably gonna if I get Fields at the four, it depends on how I draft. It's gonna be where he goes, and then a lot of these receivers are contextual to how what you're drafting already, too. Mm-hmm. Like if you need like a floor play, I'm not going to go Mike. I want to go with DJ Moore or something along those lines.
Right. Keenan Allen's a little old for a floor play, but like
for the floor guys, Chris Godwin. That was like we were talking about earlier. Complete like perfect floor play for him. It don't matter what they just. I mean, I know they came out with a little blurb today saying like they're going to use him in so many different ways, but like he is like one of the top 5. Route runners in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why wouldn't you? And he has good hands. So, and Baker only needs to throw it 5 feet. Like that's all he needs to throw it to.
But does that make? Yeah, I know. How many touchdowns do you think he scores
4
this season?
4 or 5.
4s. I agree with that. I believe it's
like
going to be
90 catches, 800 yards.
Which, if he gets this same stat line, I have trouble drafting him here around players that can just have a single game spike that's higher than that. Especially Baker being the QB, red zone troubles with Baker. But I think the biggest problem is his target share, even if it rises, right? If he takes a bigger piece of the offense, those targets are coming from Baker, not Brady.
Right.
How many of those increased targets will be catchable?
What up, Paul? I think there's a lot of hate on Brady, and I don't think he deserves all of the hate. I do think that it is a downgrade from Brady to Baker, but I don't think it's as big of a fall as everybody's making it out to be. And you have
how about the offense as a whole? How about the offense as a whole from Tampa Bay?
Okay. I do like the offense, and I do think their team is like going to be a lot of negative game scripts where I'm not drafting a lot of Baker because I do think like it's going to be a lot of checkdowns and whatnot because every time he goes deep, it's going to get picked off. So like he's kind of battle that Jameis Winston type of season, but I don't think he has the upside of a Jameis Winston type season.
Now, do you prefer any of these receivers? Now, like Godwin, I think we both agree he's not going to be your 4th wide receiver on a team. Maybe you went an early QB, an early elite tight end, and he's your wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
I think that's the squad that he makes the most sense. Is there anyone going after him that you would just outright prefer, like Brandon Ayuk?
Well, if we're going to be completely honest, it's going to be JSN. I think he just right from the get-go is a starter. He takes over Lockett. Lockett's running with the 2s. Because, I mean, as we see with Pete Carroll, he doesn't give a fuck, how far you are into your career. If you're better, you're better. I think he's better than Tyler Lockett. And I think it's a perfect week 17 correlated matchup that I'm 100% getting Najee. So it just works in a great zone for me.
Let's give some shout outs here. I agree with that. And I'm going to bring up the Seattle thing in a second. ER7, EJ, Dennis, J Fresh, C Slave, Geoff, Wabi. Man, you guys are all in here. Paul, what's up, my guy? Hart, Nez, Fantasy Football Garage. What's going on, fellas? Thanks for coming out. Does the Seattle draft of Charbonnet show that they want to go more run heavy? And does that hurt all three Seattle pass catchers? Is sort of my worry. I think we're paying a premium on DK Metcalf at 30 just because
I agree
you have to put receivers here. You have to put someone, DK.
Yeah.
You're the guy.
I don't know why DK's going there. I really don't get it, but I think he needs to be volume. A fourth rounder. I think he needs to be a fourth rounder. Yeah, he needs volume, and that the Charbonnet pick hurts more DK than it actually did Kenneth Walker, who Kenneth Walker's falling for some god reason. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's tough. I think for me, I'd just rather lock it over Metcalf. He doesn't need as many targets to have that big spike week. We're talking about single game ceiling. He could, catch 4 balls or 2 balls out of 4 targets for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Honestly, anybody on that offense, though, like if you don't have the full onslaught, the Seattle, but like if you just get a piece from like that team, wherever you think that it's a good spot, I think it's a good idea. Yeah. I think that team is just going to be offensively good as long as like Smith
I agree.
plays average and whatnot.
I think Geno's probably the biggest benefactor of adding those players.
And he's still going like behind a lot of people that probably shouldn't be going behind.
All right, let's jump right into a Pods. Yeah, let's put this into work.
Wait, like he's going behind Aaron Rodgers, who don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback, great quarterback, but doesn't have the type of offense that Geno has in front of him. Also, they like to run the ball first in New York. I don't know with the new Nathaniel Hackett how he's going to play, but we got a bunch.
I like this. Are you putting Geno over Dak this season when they lose Schultz, who is a great red zone target for him, but they were sort of disconnected the first half of the season?
I'm gonna have injuries. A zero on Dak. I'm gonna have a zero of Dak. I will have a bunch of Pollard, but I will have 0 Dak. I will have 1 share of Dak on DK because I need it for that achievement. But other than that, I will have 0
That's
Dak.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
I had to draft Brady Cooks today. I did not feel good about it.
I think Kirk is pretty expensive here at 101. We'll see. They do get the addition of Addison. They get Hawkinson, so this offense is on the upswing. So maybe I am a little too light on Kirk here, but Geno, I agree. Goff seems to be going at a really good price, and Tua's basically right next to Dak. And I have Tua over Dak.
I feel like it's who do you have? If you have Justin Jefferson, you're going to get Kirk. If you have if you have Waddle, or let's say you grab Tua, it's just kind of like I think it kind of falls there.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. He's going off the board as QB12. If you go to his points per game, and you take out the games that he missed, 3 quarters, you just go to the games that he played full. He ended as like QB7.
Yeah. Also, the reason I'm not getting Dak is there's so many running backs and receivers right in that kind of general area that I kind of like more than I just tend to get. And I feel so comfortable with Daniel Jones that he's typically there afterwards, and that's who I'm targeting.
I think that makes a lot of sense. We're at pick 10 here, and I don't know what you've been doing, but I've been loving just smashing double elite wide receiver or Eckler, an elite wide receiver.
I mean, Bijan's fallen to me like once or twice, but at 10, but not lately.
Okay. I'm fine with going Bijan at 10 too. I think it's tough to take him at his ADP. Yeah, I'll gladly go Bijan here, but I think it's tough to grab him at his ADP of 7 or 8 because there's a chance that even you're not even getting Waddle on the way back around, and I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So if you're picking him at ADP of 7,
6,
right?
Yeah, 6 or 7.
6. There's a chance if you're in the right piss boy draft that you're left with Saquon, the 3 elite QBs.
Yeah.
Or you're reaching up on like a Chris Olave. We're seeing Nick Chubb starting to make the jump here in front of the elite QBs.
I'm high on Nick Chubb, but I don't think that I feel like they're changing the offense a little bit this season. into a more pass happy offense.
Definitely. We saw that at the end of the season. Was that because, Deshaun Watson missed the whole year? It's like, hey, let's see what you got. Or I agree, because they did change to pass heavy.
No, I don't think that he doesn't not thrive in a non-passing offense, but it's pretty risky. I don't know. Like he could get less yards, maybe more touchdowns.
They get rid of Hunt, which is huge, because Hunt was kind of like a red zone, just siphoner. You just siphon touchdowns from him. So we'd love to get a Monra here.
What we got, Waddle? Well,
that's the risk there. So we got Bijan at 10, and we're left with just Waddle there. So yeah, I love Waddle as well. I think that's just fine. We're up in 18 picks at 34 and 39. All these value RBs are off the board now. There's no getting Stevenson in that range like before. But I agree. I think Chubb is starting to get more expensive. Olave, is he rightfully rising? You have to put someone there, sort of thing, right? You have to put someone there.
I think he's going to be a good play, but I don't think he's going to produce where he's being drafted, if that makes sense. He's like, trying to think of somebody that was there last, not that exact spot, but someone like
Mike
Gabe
Evans
Davis,
was there, but
for instance, somebody like Gabe Davis. Yeah, Mike Evans would be a good example too. Like Gabe Davis in the 3rd, 4th last year when he was really a 5th, 6th player, where he doesn't really need to be going in that exact spot. It's kind of what we were talking about with DK. Not really a spot for him, but you have to have somebody there. Have receiver flying up.
Michael, welcome to the live stream. How's the draft going so far? We start off with Bijan at 10, which I'm selecting him at 9 and 10. I can't do it at 7 or 8, like I said. But Austin Eckler, this one's interesting now that we get the contract restructured, and it looks like he's staying with the Chargers for one more year at least. Do you have a strong preference, Bijan or Eckler? Now that we get that news,
I still, I still want to have Bijan ranked ahead of him, partially because I do like that Chicago Atlanta matchup in Week 17. But it's more like also that they brought in Isaiah Spiller last year. It kind of feels like they may still bring somebody in, and that could be a spot for like Dalvin Cook or something along those lines.
That's fair. That's fair. But how much will this is the tricky part, right? Is trying to figure out what percent is Algier going to get. If he gets anywhere near 25%, I think Bijan is a bad value at where he's going. He has to finish his RB2, right? Or 1 to pay out this ADP of 10.
Yeah.
Or prove that he can have those enormous spike weeks, which we know he can. But is Eckler just safer being on the Chargers? Not even getting 1,000 yards rushing last year and still being the number 1 overall flex. That includes Justin Jefferson.
I mean, it's tough to say, but I think if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Bijan. They're going to give him the rock. They're going to give him every opportunity to do well. They have a decent offensive line. They're going to run the ball 30 times a game.
Most run-heavy team in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's got that going for him.
Yeah.
Returning offensive coordinator.
If you look at the way he ran Derrick Henry, it's the same guy. Obviously not Derrick Henry versus Bijan, but like the productivity and the way they're going to use him.
Right.
I think you're a bare minimum looking at at the very worst, like top 6 running back, I think, as long as like health and whatnot.
I like the Andrews pick here. I'm on the Andrews bandwagon in this range because this range is, I think it's pretty ugly. I'm not going Brees right now until I get some better news. I still think he can fall a little bit.
Okay, what are you thinking here?
I don't mind Debo.
Okay.
I don't mind Debo. Then we're up at pick 39.
Okay.
This could be like a spot where, like, I don't really like to reach in these where it's a 20 max tournament as well. There's not a lot of time for these ADPs to really change.
The only reason I was going to suggest that we get Justin Fields is because they had that matchup, and then we can get Najee in the next round. But I get it.
Another small thing you could do is maybe a DJ Moore and Justin Fields here, which
that's what I was thinking. I was like, you can. There's a lot of weird things you could do with that area. That's why this area is like what we were talking about earlier. This is going to probably be where the winner is won. It's like the right combination of players in this spot.
There's going to be a lot of dead. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of dead lineups in this range because the amount of draft capital you're spending. And I think there's a lot of busts for their capital, like for the value.
No offense, but I think Amari Cooper's like, I think he's kind of hit the wall. I don't think he's going to have a good year.
And I think this is expensive for him too.
I think, I think that's
if you want safe. If you want a safe pick, I think Najee's probably the safest running back in this range.
He's RB1. I know we're drafting the potential RB1, but I think Najee this year is RB1.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Drop the mic. That's it. Show's over.
I mean, to be fair, I was on him last year. It's nothing new. Anybody that's ever heard me talk knows I love Najee, but
I faded him last year. So this is coming from, someone that's not biased at all.
Look, I was watching some hype.
Fade.
I was watching some drills. I'm all about it.
I'm going to go Fields here. Yeah, it does open us up later on tight ends.
Commit and 10 yen. I drafted Mooney earlier, but I don't know. I mean, I don't expect him to be perfect, at a round 13 pick.
It's fine. Right now, you have the news that he's hurt, so I think he's going to fall a little bit. This is how drafters react to news, especially when the icon's red, right?
Right.
Everyone's clicking on it. So he's going to fall. He has fallen in drafts, which is nice. I'll pick him because it's still early.
Yeah.
So rehabbing an ankle injury, like the guy's got 6 months, 5 months.
But even then, you don't need him to be perfect right away.
Right.
Like, we're relying hopefully on Waddle and Debo to be, holding us up.
More biased picks.
There's no like hiding it. I love ASB, who won me $1 million.
Now, this was something, Najee was someone that I was touting just based off his range and before the NFL draft, where you could just kind of make an inference like, okay, if they shore up the line,
which they
right, this is someone that is going way too late just based on the amount of volume that Najee Harris gets. So he was one of my favorite players on the big board because his ADP was like 40,
not only did they shore the O-line, they got another tight end that is a huge run blocker.
The seventh lineman.
It's like, what are we doing here? Like, this is perfect for Najee, and people are still shitting on him. It's like he was dealing with the Liz Frank injury last year. How does not anybody like Travis Etienne took the surgery? Najee decided that he's going to be a man about it and play through it.
Do you remember that play? Najee went down holding his knee and he was wincing.
Yeah, right after he get like a 40-yard.
Back out the next.
Yeah, the dude's a machine.
Yeah. So
and volume, like 2 weeks later, he jumped over a Raider player. Like, let's be honest, the man's a beast.
I think the one worry for people that at least the bearish side that people bring up is Jaylen Warren and how is he going to take more from the pass game? He can though. He's allowed to, and that pick is still a smash at that ADP.
Yeah. I people who think I don't like Warren, I'll still take Warren. I think they're different running backs, and they make the offense better. I think you want pieces from like good offenses. And I don't understand why people don't understand that concept.
Reed grabbing Joe Burrow at 50 with the Chase squad, always in Pounders drafts. Always happening in Pounders drafts.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow falling to the right spot, and it feels so good. It feels so good. So in this range, this is interesting because we had this chat before we started. Drake London was the first receiver off the board in this range, followed by Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, then Mike Williams. I'm definitely Mike Williams over Keenan Allen in that range, especially when we're talking about like single game spike potential and huge deep field tournaments. And then DJ Moore, then Terry. I think Terry's might be the most disrespected wide receiver in this range because we do it every single year.
Yeah, I'm going to disrespect him. I hate to do it. I am.
It needs to be done every single year. You have to.
It's just his quarterback plays so bad, man. His quarterback is just not. It's not. Sam Howell is a running back with a like. He is. What's the guy's name? The guy that prayed a bunch. Tebow. He's
Tebow?
Like, he's Tebow with a little bit better arm, like better like motion. Like that's all it is. The dude is.
So we still end up pulling the Chicago-Atlanta correlation here.
Yeah.
I like Ayuk in this range, to be honest.
Double stack San Francisco. Get both the top options, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Get a little mini San Fran. We could do a late Dotson for the week 17, but I think that's super thin. I'm not actually selecting Washington players for that matchup because I don't think it's going to be.
Well, I don't mind Dotson. Best. I think Dotson's like the best play. I think he's a better player than Terry.
And there's a teardrop right after Dotson.
Right after Dotson is a it's tough. I like Zay. I like Zay and what's the guy right below him? I forget what it was, but
we got the news from Lamar today that the word on the street is run less, pass more in Baltimore. But that range of wide receivers, I mean, you have 3 Baltimore receivers going off the board within 20 picks of each other.
Yeah, it's like the only person I'm not drafting is OBJ.
Okay.
I just don't trust it. It's a little too risky for my liking. As someone who drafted a shit ton of him last year. What are we looking at?
It's expensive. Oh, OBJ's expensive for that range. In my opinion, I think it's pretty gross. I really do. I liked Mixon here because I honestly think he's going to be a huge riser once we get the news that he's not going straight to jail. Again, do we just bring in the Atlanta double for this?
I was like, either we do that or we could go like elite quarterback and just have Justin Herbert there and have 2 elite quarterbacks. And we have the floor. It's risky.
I would, if we had any correlation with these 2 QBs, we could definitely mix that in, especially Herbert falling 11 picks is nice, but
he has so much like game correlation later on too, though. That's why like you could pair him up with literally anybody, and then Denzel Mims, Sutton, they all go late.
Where are you with Palmer? Is he going to have no role by week 12?
I think Keenan Allen gets hurt. This is why I'm like low on Keenan Allen. I think he gets hurt again. And Palmer steps in and hopefully has Mike Williams on the other side. And it's just not just Palmer getting double teamed, who shouldn't be double teamed, has single coverage because he's meant to play, Keenan Allen's role. He's not meant to play Mike Williams' role, which he had to do everything last year. He's not the number 1. He's a good second guy.
Yeah, I agree. He has proved he can be a number 2. He had a few spike weeks. Yeah. But you're also adding Quentin Johnston in there.
I don't think he has anything to do with Palmer. I think Quentin Johnston has everything to do with Mike. I feel like, and honestly, I'd love to say I'm high on Quentin Johnston, but I'm not. His hands, he does a lot of body catches, and Herbert throws some missiles. You do not want to body catch with Herbert, which means he may not gain his trust right away. It's a risky play, I think. I'll have some Quentin Johnston, but
there was that one catch in the combine that showed that he's not a hands catcher. That's what the truthers will tell you. Yeah. There was one. Lamar and Justin Herbert pairing here by Dennis, which is beautiful. Herbert at 67, and he pairs it with Mike Willie. Even try again, Chomp Pounder in the chat. Gets Trevor Lawrence at 68, pairs it with Calvin Ridley. I like both of these starts so far.
Yeah.
By these guys.
Dennis is out here just slaying giraffes, man.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Big time. You try to get away from like your followers, right? So you're drafting at like 2:30 a.m., 3 a.m., and there's like 3 of them in there. You're like, you guys are sick. You have a problem, and you need to stop. This is my time to draft at 3 a.m.
I'm sorry, Seth. I'm sorry, Paul, but that's just how I feel about that guy. I can't think of his name.
Tebow.
No, the Washington quarterback, Sam Howell.
Oh, Howell.
I just didn't see a lot out of his passing ability.
Is Howell, I'm curious, people in the chat, please let me know, yes or no answers. Is Howell the best quarterback that Terry gets to play with? Better than Carson Wentz, better than Heineke? Who else? There's one before that.
I think Wentz is getting a fucking raw deal, man. I think he's a good quarterback.
Is Howell the best QB that Terry gets to play with so far in his career? So this is just a classic balanced start. We can really scoop any value that comes back to us. I like this range of running backs that comes up as well. Anywhere from give me Swift. I don't know. I mean, let me say that lightly because if he falls, I will take him in that range. Yeah. But all the way to Connor. I'm cool with any one of these guys.
Yeah. Oh, Gabe Davis goes. Oh, no fun. No fun.
Yeah, never any fun.
I love getting Gabe and then like pairing it with like the last 2 rounds with like Taekwon and Keishawn Booty.
It's so easy. It's so easy to
so
stack
free,
that week
dude.
17 game.
So free. And we're assuming that the New England's going to be a negative game script and that they're going to have to pass a shit ton and Bill O'Brien's okay with that. And even though he's like a terrible head coach, he's a decent offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Like almost 90% of my drafts have ended with some kind of like New England player.
I'm surprised Dennis didn't go Quentin Johnson here, but maybe he's not high on him, and that's fine. Just because of the correlation.
Yeah. Well, he's got Mike. He might, be thinking what I'm thinking.
Honestly,
I'm cool White all the way.
I'm cool with any of these players, and I'm fine with that because I mean they sent Cam home for 2 weeks last year. They're like, sit on the couch, don't get hurt. We're gonna try to trade you.
Yeah,
that has to scare you to some extent. Yes, he finished the season strong. He had 4 games over 100 yards. 3 of them were over 100 rushing yards, and then the other one had passing yards included.
So did you see the blurb about Michael Thomas? Was he tearing his ACL? But it's the Michael Thomas of the Ravens.
Stop.
Yeah, stop. Uri Murnov. I can't think of his name.
Did the text go out to everybody like Michael Thomas tore his ACL?
I just happened to be on Twitter at that time, and it's just like, what the fuck? I just drafted him in the 5x5. I was like,
oh yeah. Yeah, that makes like
my heart dropped, man. Real fast. Because last year's my 5-5 teams, like I had Zach Wilson and Trey Lance as my quarterbacks.
Auto pick for sure, right? 37 picks ahead of ADP.
Well, he has ASB now. Maybe he doesn't think he gets it back. So
I like Connor. I think both of these offenses are a risk to bring in like Zeke or Lenny or even Hunt.
Where's Jahan Dotson at?
He's gone.
He's gone?
Yeah. I'm cool going running back here.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever.
I mean, we got Cam Akers that fell 11 picks. Go Akers in this spot. I have plenty of James Conner.
Damn. Where did Jahan Dotson go? I just for my brain to
Dawson went at like 80.
Dotson, he went
right 76.
This year inverted.
Paul. So we get the double. We got Paul with the Washington correlation here.
It's not collusion, but me and Paul have been messaging back and forth so we don't get stuck, having to sleep. We're 1-2 in the 5-5-5 we're in together. I was like, okay, Paul, if I draft you, like we're gonna like make sure like neither of us have to like do it in the middle of the night kind of thing.
Yes. Nice. You're not trying to like screw them over to an auto pick.
So nice, yeah.
That's fair. There are some dirty games when it comes to slow drafts.
I've 100% done it to somebody, I'm sure.
That reminds me, I have to check my slows. I haven't auto drafted yet. I didn't get to finish the Poodle. Poodle 1, I ended up doing 13.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't actually like just put the last 7 in as slows because I still have slows from the first puppy going on.
Yeah, I still had 14 slows from the puppy. I didn't even max the puppy. I just did 20, 25, and I was like, I'll just do a few, and then they're still going on. I'm like, we're on the 3rd tournament since then, and it's like, well.
There's no reason to have to force yourself to just – you could burn yourself out pretty quick doing these drafts.
I've definitely doing less drafts than last year.
Well, they're showing that they're going to just keep opening contests as they fill. So why would I feel the need to, just grind that hard? Now, if I like the contest, I'll do it.
Hard last year.
Like 20 max isn't hard to fill. No. But like a puppy where it's 150 max, like I know people that already burnt out from drafting.
Dude, I did 1,700 drafts last year. I was burnt by the time like August came around. I was like, I'm kind of done. Then that's when my YouTube numbers were spiking. So I'm like, well, I guess we're going to be doing YouTube on DK and low value. I don't think I had one profitable stream after that, but
it's because you were burnt.
Yeah,
you were burnt. You got to know when to break it. But content for the people's also
important. I was free EV for everybody. That's why you should subscribe to my channel as well.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get on. We could do some DK streams as well. I still think the DK ADPs are way off.
Yeah. JSN is 20 picks past his current his underdog thing, and he's not that doesn't line up. with the way he plays.
Right. So for me, because I feel there are players that I'd rather get my exposure over on DK that's full point PPR and bonuses at 100 yards than drafting them on Underdog at what I feel is a worse value. Like Godwin, I'd rather him on full point PPR on DK where he goes in a similar range. I would rather JSN, like you said.
Yeah.
JSN's going lower, right?
He's going like in the 70s on
yeah.
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 Sorry. Sometimes lower means like, I don't know. I knew what you meant, I think.
No, we got it. Yeah. We got it.
Daniel Jones, Jameson.
Are you on the Purdy train or are you on the Lance train?
I'm on neither train.
I think we take a shot on one of them with this team because
we have to, or we don't have to, or we don't, and we just
we could,
but we could, but we. I don't know. I think that's it. It's honestly, I don't think they matter to our team. You know what I mean? So I don't think we go that route. Like I don't think they bring anything to our team, any value.
I like the Washington Week 17. You got to think that's a juicy matchup for San Fran.
I mean, Sam Howell is the running
maybe
quarterback
you don't
of the two.
Maybe you don't need the QB is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Sam Howell, though, if you're going to bring a quarterback in, the dude, the next running back of the Redskins or the Commanders.
But if these two receivers go off, right?
Yeah.
We're assuming
they have to throw the ball, so he's going to run the ball even more. Right. They just had a tight end tear his ACL too, by the way.
They don't have Hill, so they shouldn't go Tua. This offense is just super condensed in Miami.
Yeah, I agree. I'm okay with even if we didn't get it, I'm okay with Daniel Jones, and because he has so many late game stacks as well. We're talking about, we could always just go Mac Jones and pair him up that route. Quarterback is so fluid for me in the second half of the draft.
I think with Danny Dimes, we have to go third QB because the same bye weeks. But with Tua, I think we have enough upside. Obviously, Tua had some ridiculous spike.
That was just by a play of just trying to get that guy not to draft.
No, ER7's better than that. He knows. ER7 knows. He doesn't have Hill or Waddle. It's just too condensed of an offense. Like, how does Tua spike?
Well, you get Braxton Berrios. You get the random rookie that everybody's talking about.
Smythe or whatever his name is, the tight end.
Well, they drafted somebody, but isn't he listed as a receiver or something like that? I don't know. Who knows?
I know what you're talking about. Chosen Anderson.
Oh my goodness.
Cedric Wilson. Cedric's all done.
It's Higgins. It's who it was.
I don't love this range of wide receivers. We're picking at 130 and 135. There's no chance Mingo and Rice make it back to us.
Oh, I guess we have enough running backs.
I'm cool with going to Njoku and just being elite at tight end, elite at QB.
We're done at quarterback. We're done at tight end.
This team's going to be probably 5 running back and 9 receivers.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking like.
I'm okay with that.
It's tough being in these Pounders drafts where they don't leave you much meat on the bones at wide receiver.
But even then, there's so many good receivers still left on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Well, serviceable receivers, like not number 1 or 2, but
best ball guys that can spike into your lineup.
Yes.
I completely agree with that.
Guys with high upside if there's an injury.
True, or even. I know we're on some of the same guys. Like, there's no chance Mingo or Rice makes it back, and these are guys that are. I think
Rice could be Jalen Tolbert from this year. Not that they're the same person, but I think the way their opportunity is in a very similar place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have Sky Moore, they have Kadarius Toney, they have MVS, they have Rashee Rice, they have Justin Watson back, Travis Kelce, Noah Gray.
Oh yeah,
Justin. There's so many receivers there. It's like,
and Mahomes spreads the ball.
He got second round value, but like they can easily bring in the Arizona guy, DeAndre Hopkins. He wanted the tight end. Now, I'm good. Of course, I'm going to take, if I have like Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to take, a couple shots at him.
Paul was on a heater last year.
The dude was insane.
You have to take your shots. I agree with that. Especially with these receivers. I'm curious, does the news about Mechie being ready for camp, should this hurt Nico Collins at 140?
They don't play the same position, so no. If anything, that hurts Robert Woods.
Can Robert Woods get hurt any more than he already is? That means two things. ADP
well, I'm just saying,
body.
Mechie doesn't affect his playing time.
But target share, you could argue. And you have Schultz as well with Robert Woods. The offense is now starting to get, a little more spread out.
I don't think Mechie was as good as everybody thinks he was. Like, the dude was a grinder, but he wasn't like an elite athlete, like the top of the cream. I don't know.
Didn't he send JMO out of town back in college?
I mean, there was a bunch of good receivers. There was Waddle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's multiple.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think I would just give him a small, a small, like Chark. I'm taking him over DJ Chark. So he doesn't, it's not like he falls into a different range of receivers. So I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's a few people that are just mispriced, I think. Well, you just keep scrolling. I'm like, I'd rather have that guy. I'd rather have
100%.
I'd rather have that guy.
100%. And I think we're on a lot of the same people.
Yeah, I watched, listen to your streams. We're pretty simpatico. There's a lot of people that I'm on the same page with this year, and I'm just like, okay.
And it's funny because you don't see the ADPs changing all that much.
And I appreciate it. I
know. We've been on, and I'll just say, like, oh, man, are they going to go 2 for 2 here? Because I wouldn't mind grabbing a speculative wide receiver here in Mingo. I think it actually fits with the team comp.
This will be my only view of a share that I would have of Mingo, because I don't have any of him. I don't have any Panther. I don't like any of that offense.
But would you reach up for Thielen, Dobbs?
I'd rather get Kendrick Miller. But if we need receivers, I'd rather.
I think we can get both. I think we can get both here. I'm also on Kendrick. We need a tight end in this range, and we had like 4 or 5 receivers already, I would like Chiggy in this range. Yeah.
But if we were going to go tight end for this team, it would be Cole Kmet.
For sure.
Yeah. So I like this part of the draft, man. It's fun.
Okay, Kendrick gone.
Yeah. He's in the stream. D-Wack is.
Is he? Oh, he's on your side. I didn't know.
No, I don't know who he is, but I have to assume with some of the picks have been a little too close to home.
People are starting to reach a little bit on their receivers. I think we have to do the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I already know that you liked him because we were both on it during big board days.
Oh yeah, and he's been a riser since the first big board. He started at like 168. He didn't rise all that much, but I still think he has room to rise.
I think I don't really like AR. Well, I don't like AR where he's going, right? So I won't have any AR, but I definitely will have Pierce, and I will have Josh Downs. I think both of those players service what you want from those players at their ADP. Like Michael Pittman's going too high for his AD, like for what he's going to be able to produce.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's
if AR was still going to be like
Keenan Allen, right?
Yeah,
that's basically what you have. Ben, welcome to the live stream. Put the wrench away. Wait, what? We got a Pat Felix collab. This is number 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I think this is the 3rd one.
I enjoy it.
Well, yeah. I mean, when we have such similar takes, it's just like bread and butter, bread and butter. Let's see. So we're getting pick 154. What's your thoughts on DPJ now that they add Cedric Tillman to the offense?
As a person who won with DPJ on their Millie making lineup,
come on.
No, I'm actually pretty low on him. if we're going to be honest, if we're going to have DPJ or MVS in the exact same spot, why wouldn't you go with the number one quarterback in the league versus that? You know what I mean? Like they have similar upside. Whose quarterback are you betting on there? The way I love Deshaun Watson, it kind of just like who fits the team better. But
I can't draft MVS for whatever reason. It's just my fingers won't let me click MVS.
Yeah, I'm not really taking either of those guys too much. I'm going to be completely honest. But if I had
when you're
to,
comparing the two,
but if I'm going to have him like right in front of him, like
yeah, that makes sense.
I've been getting a lot of Cooper Kupp, so I've been getting a lot of Stafford in that area. My draft area has been very nice this year. There's no complaints for me for getting all the 10 spots as I did last year. I think I have 50% Jamar Chase on DK.
Yeah. So you've just been selecting him at what, 1 the whole time?
No, like 2 and 3, or sometimes 6.
Oh my God. See, that's why I'm switching over to DK a little bit at a time when we see Reed got 149, like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like when the puppies are filled or when the poodles are filled, because I don't want to just draft BBMs right now. I'm still trying to wait a little bit and drafting around news, basically. When something new comes out, I'll jump in and see if I can get that guy at what I think is a value.
I'm going to try something new. Well, I'm going to do 100 slows on BBM4, and I'm going to do mainly drafting those 100 slows for the regular season prize. And then I'm going to draft the 50 with other content creators, hopefully starting in July. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic.
Love that. Let's see what ER7 does. He does go DPJ.
Yeah.
I want one of these 2 receivers. And I mean, we have the LA correlation with Cam Akers. Let's see. Who's LA play again? Week 17?
New Orleans is playing Atlanta for the Rashad White correlated play.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
And there's a running back that I would like to get next round, if possible.
Same. I want that running back, but
don't even scroll down.
I feel like I need one of those receivers at the same point. I think that was a little more important to grab.
Just a random question. Do you know if Dontre Hilliard is still on the Titans?
If he is, well,
no, he's not. Okay,
he's not. So Tajay gets a small.
I was just kind of curious. I was watching game. I was watching.
So were you on Tank or was it Singletary?
I was on Chase Brown 20 picks early.
You're gross. No, you're sick. You're sick. I'm gonna go Tank here just because of.
I think you're making a big mistake. He's not coming back to us.
No, he's definitely.
I'm a jumper.
I've seen him at 178. I've seen him fall to it. I just like the draft capital with Tank.
I can't help myself. In this range, it doesn't fucking matter where you draft people. Draft players you like, and I'm all about Chase Brown, man.
Let me see what my exposure to Chase Brown is, because
it's ridiculous.
He's my most player. It's very high, even all the way from the big board.
Those are some good picks right now, like right after us.
Yeah,
Josh Downs and Marvin Mims.
I worry a little bit about Josh Downs just with the catch radius, and
I can see that.
You have A-Rich, who's not the most accurate quarterback in tight spaces. So there is a small worry for me with Josh Downs, but he is a great route runner. So if he can get
he's not accurate at all. I love A-Rich. Again, I played him all season last year in college DFS, but he is not accurate. That is his thing that he has to work on. I don't think it's going to be solved season 1.
Paul got Cup
at 10. That's ridiculous. Imagine getting Cup in ASB, man.
He should probably be pick 3. And Eckler's another one on DK that I just get all giddy about. Now he's not going to hit the 100-yard bonus, too many times, but he does have it in his range of outcomes to hit both bonuses.
Dude, he was so electric to watch. I went to the Chargers-Rams game, and I sat front row, and he was like running right at me. You can see me in the background, just jumping up and down. It was
his girlfriend was sitting behind you, but you were like open arms, like come to Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to go to the Chargers Rams like arena? I don't know what it's called. That stadium is awesome. If you get like close enough seats, you can just go down to like field level.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
I like to go to one away game a year. Now that we have the baby, that's probably gonna slow down. But see, Tyquan Clear 169. A little 16 pick.
He knew that. Well, we knew we liked it. He was probably not making it back, to be honest.
It was it was slim. It was slim.
We got a second quarterback. SoFi, thank you.
Guys, if you haven't already, drop a like on the live stream. Subscribe to both me and Felix over at BestBall Nation. Hit the bell for notifications so you can jump in these live drafts with us. And we can go over your squads as well at the end here. Should be able to run through it.
How's the baby treating you? You getting good sleep?
Baby's good. Baby's, progressing. Definitely negative EV, but progressing. And that's all I need to see. And he's starting to smile now. It's like, oh man, crap your pants. I don't care. Crap your pants.
No, dude, my son just graduated pre-K. Dude, I was sobbing.
I think he put it out on Twitter or something, or maybe it was on the live stream. That's the best, man. Yeah, that's the best. Congrats.
It's crazy.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Let's see here. Can we pop up the wide receiver tab?
Curtis Samuel off the board.
Ugh, this is kind of dirty area.
Yeah, I'm fine with a few of these players.
Same.
Nice.
Well, he's got 7. He's probably too worried about it.
Both the guys behind us need a receiver and a running back, I think.
Can you top over the running backs?
Ugh. Yeah. And I don't think I'm comfortable probably with one of those guys finishing at 5.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple receivers I like still later. I know, but I don't know.
I don't mind Mechie. I think he has the potential to be a riser. I also
don't mind Wandell. To be a riser for sure.
I also don't mind Wandell Robinson.
I agree. On this team, which we might need him later on in the season.
Exactly what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Like later on. I don't mind if he's hurt early. But I'm cool with either one of these.
I'm good. Mechie's fine, yeah.
I do like this range for Robinson. Like this team's still hurting for like a true wide receiver 1. Now he's not a true
Colin Johnson, baby. Colin Johnson's coming back from his ACL. He's gonna be the guy.
Oh dear.
On a few teams I've taken him. Only on a few. Okay. I mean, he was my most owned player the year I won the $1 million. And I had him on 90% of my leagues.
Was he on that team?
No.
Exactly. I love that. It was meant to be.
Dude, he was going to be the number 1 for the team, but then he tore his ACL fucking practice, man. Oh, that's tough.
Max Payne. That's like my Tim Patrick.
Yeah.
24% most drafted player in the offseason. You get that text, you're just like, no, why?
I about cried, dude. I about cried for that guy.
Do you like Chuba, Tajay?
They're all right, yeah.
Gus, like if you had to pick one.
Leonard Fournette, because he's going to rise when he gets put to a decent offense. What if he goes to the Rams? Like, he's going to get the work there.
If he goes to the Rams, we're fucked.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that. Maybe it's a 1-for-1 trade. I don't know. No, I guess it wouldn't be. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't care. Those guys are fine.
I don't mind Chuba. We have the Jonathan Mingo correlation.
Yeah.
He is the number 2 right now, right? And it's not like it's the most sexy offense.
Well, I was also going to say there was another running back there. I was going to say we could grab Ibiconda just in case he's not ready. I've also been on the well, Ty Chandler is going to move up as soon as Dalvin Cook gets traded or cut.
Or Dwayne McBride. Now, do you have a preference between the two right now?
I was thinking more Ty Chandler, but like, I really don't care now. And I think Ty Chandler gets the first shot, I guess I would say, because he looked okay during preseason last year.
And this is actually a pretty good example of how I believe you should be drafting right now. You should be drafting your guys that have for sure roles.
Yeah.
Even Chuba has a for sure role as a RB2, and they might mix Blackshear in every now and then. They did that near the end of the season, which was gross, but it happened. But if Miles Sanders gets hurt, I mean, Chuba's like, he's gold basically. Even if he doesn't get hurt, he should have a role.
Frank Reich, he liked bringing in a pass catching running back, which Chuba can do. Like Miles Sanders can do it too, but like I think they can correlate well together. Maybe it's not like high upside every week, but maybe we just need a floor play from here and there.
But we're drafting these running backs, right? That have for sure roles. We actually get
guys with high upside if somebody gets hurt,
exactly.
or if they just don't take a job.
And then you bring in the uncertainty,
which Tank Bigsby was a great running back. I don't understand like why he didn't go higher, because he was in this Auburn offense that limited his abilities.
I was praying he ended up, him or Israel Abanikanda ended up on Cincy. Those were the two I was pulling for.
I got Chase Brown to Cincy, and I was shooting off fireworks at my house, man.
Honey, get in the back. We won. Chase Brown I'm just so heavy on him in the 200s that I feel like I could take just a small break and select him where it fits, right? So like I'll take Tank here. If I was closer to 165 and Tank's off the board, like that's the spot. Like, all right, Chase, you're my guy. Definitely could be a riser. There's still uncertainty with Mixon, although I like Mixon as ADP with that uncertainty.
I just don't. I don't know.
Starting to come around to it. I'm starting to come around to it.
I don't get it. There's no way he ends up back on the Bengals and playing all year.
There's no way?
I don't think so. I would almost put like $100 on it that he doesn't play the whole season with the Bengals.
I like the Claypool pick. I mean, I don't draft much Claypool, but we don't have Justin Fields.
We don't have almost any correlation with him, so it makes sense. Not that he's a great pick, but he's like a guy that what if he does have that game with him?
Yeah, exactly. You just need one spike week for it to
They can't use him any less. Let's just put it that way. Can't use him any less.
That's hilarious.
Give him a fucking couple sweeps, I guess. Put him in the option with him.
And he did go for second overall pick, second round, first overall pick, the 201. So you got to think they're going to get him involved. And we have Mooney not practicing, so I'll bring in a little Claypool when it's correlated after ADP. Yeah. Edwards off the board. I'm cool with this being another running back. Okay. I think we're fine at receiver.
There's only one running back that I want, but it's okay if you don't like him.
Send it. What's the name?
Deuce.
How about? I'm between these three.
Yeah.
Even Zach Evans, but Zach Evans, we have.
He doesn't correlate with our team.
We have Akers.
Well. Let's go with the Izzy. That's what I call him.
Okay, I think that's good. Where we have the news that Breece Hall is not ready right now. I mean, there's plenty of time, but I think that makes sense.
Man, 18 rounds go so fast on Underdog when you're chit-chatting.
I love 18 round drafts versus the 20s.
Well, I like the 20s when you can get an auto drafter. Like it goes by so fast.
It's true. They have to bring that back, right?
They're not going to.
Now, I think the problem is it was 2 picks, right? And it could be different rooms for Underdog. If you miss 2 draft picks back to back, and that is all rooms combined, if you're doing 4 drafts, it could happen, right? So then they put you on auto. I feel like if you miss 2 picks in a row in one single draft, in that draft you're in, right?
From then it sounds like they're not going. I don't think it's coming back. I think somebody said they were talking to Redmond, and it's not going to come back.
So much pain. Much pain. Let's run over these teams real quick. We'll give him the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Best Ball Beast, do you know if he's in here? Is he one of yours?
No. Well, I don't draft on Underdog very often anymore, so I don't even.
Okay. So we had Reed in the 2 spot. I like to go QBs then tight ends just because you can see the most glaring mistakes there right away. We do have the double elite. You have Burrow to fall to 50, which is beautiful. You get Jalen Hurts at 26. I mean, that's pretty
quarterback's still down pretty far in this draft.
Yeah, they did. Kincaid after, Dulcich and Irv Smith, 16 picks after. I'm fine with this group.
Yeah, I'm not high on Kincaid, but I can see I love Dulcich, so made it up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Irv Smith, 17 picks after.
It pairs with his quarterback. So
Irv Smith at 150 is kind of, for me, that's early. I think he's one of those risers because of the Week 17 matchup, and I don't love it.
Oh, he got Chase Brown. Oh my god, I love
it. A plus for Felix. Pollard, Javonte Williams, Penny, Deshaun Johnson, Chase Brown. I like this group a lot.
I love his team. I already see the receiver group.
But this team is going to need production early from these running backs if Javonte Williams misses time. That's one problem I could see. Chase, Hopkins, Burks, Jonathan Johnson, Sutton, Hardman, Marvin Jones, and Cedric Tillman. I like the Cedric Tillman pick late. I think he's someone that probably shouldn't be going at 212 still, but that's a nice draft by Reed. All right, Paul, the 3-4-8-3 getting spicy with it. Staffy, Sam Howell, and Jones. We knew the Sam Howell pick was coming with the double.
Yeah.
From Washington. Goddard, Higbee, Jelani Woods. This is a strong group.
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
Barkley, Stevenson, Charbonnet, and Damian Harris. I think it works.
Yeah, with
it might be a little light.
Yeah.
But 14 picks after ADP.
You got 2. Hopefully you don't have to use the other guys. Yeah. Like hopefully you only have to use Charbonnet and Damian Harris once. You know, you're hoping that Stevenson and Barkley are
weekly providers.
Right? Yeah.
And then can get you through the playoffs. Cup, McLaurin, JSN, Jahan Dotson, Elijah Moore, Jameson Williams, Rondell Moore, and Hunter Renfrow.
Man, this is the only problem streaming these days, man. Everybody's got such good teams. Players you like. It's good.
It's nice though because everyone's correlating, and sometimes when you get these smarter drafts that are correlating, they're staying in their own lane.
Yeah.
So always a good team from Ball. Try again, Chomp. Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love. I'm fine with these two, especially if Love can have, a QB2, mid QB2, late QB2 year. I think that's fine. Waller and Fant. Are you okay with just having these two? Or is that light?
I mean, if they stay healthy, they're good tight ends. I mean, I'd be fine with it. I personally wouldn't, but
I think the 36 picks is a little aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. Like he could have got
that might be enough.
I don't know.
That might be.
I would have thrown Trey McBride. I would have thrown Trey McBride in for where he got Ezekiel Elliott right there.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably gonna agree with that. CMC, Dobbins, Dillon, Gibson. Yeah. You didn't need the 6th running back.
No,
I see it. It's 30 picks. It's 30 picks after, but
he's not even on my board anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame you. He doesn't have much upside. That single game spike is. Does he have 2 touchdowns in him in one game? I mean,
you need 2 hot dogs in one game before he gets.
Yeah, facts on the field.
Feed him,
T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, Rashad Bateman, Jaden Reed, DJ Chark, Nathaniel Dell, and Terrace Marshall. So we bought the dip on
solid receivers
on Chark. Yeah, I'm fine with this group. I'm definitely fine with it. Strong start. Trevor Lawrence, he has the Calvin Ridley correlation.
Yeah. Who do you have
and
with
I don't just Jaden Reed and Dillon. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Not bad.
Yeah. Dennis, 2583, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Cole Kmet, Trey McBride, and Likely. I liked Likely in the big board early, but when they bring in Odell, when they draft Zay Flowers, is he going to be on the field as much as we want him to be without an injury to Andrews?
That's what I was going to say. Well, this team, he's going to have decent production, not like great production, but if something does happen to Andrews, he's got a top 5 tight end. So
potentially they should use him like that. But even when Andrews was hurt last year, he did show that he could spike though. So that's important.
Yeah.
I like the weight on running back and the first running back being Aaron Jones. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, same.
Swift after ADP, get Cook a little bit after ADP, Elijah Mitchell and Singletary.
He's got solid production. Like nothing, no like huge spike weeks, but I can see like 10 points every week from both running backs, which may be all he needs with the two elite quarterbacks.
It's a well balanced group.
Yeah.
AJ Brown, Smith, so he gets the double, but no
Hurts.
No Hurts, and Hurts fell to 26. So
who did he take instead?
Did he just pick it like
he picked Lamar? No, Lamar. He got 30, I think.
Okay.
Pick 30.
Yeah, pick 30. Damn. Imagine.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, MT, Odell, KJ Osborne, Curtis Samuel, and Palmer. I'm fine with the group. It's probably going to depend on, Thomas and Odell if they can have decent years. I don't know where you're at with KJ Osborne. Does his role sort of diminish with the addition of Addison?
I think he has the same role, actually. I think he was in line to get a bigger role if Addison doesn't count, but now that Addison's there, I think he has the same role as he did last year. I think he maybe has fewer spike games, but I think he still has the same spike potential, like the Zay Jones effect.
Yeah.
Where he might have like 3 really good weeks in a row. You never know. He might be that kind of player.
Yeah, I don't mind him at 150 now, and he was at 123 for a little bit. It was like, all right, guys, like this guy has to fall. Like I want some KJ Osborne because he has that spike potential, like you said. But 150, I'm ready to party at 150.
Yeah.
GDE and ER7. GDE with A-Rich and Russell Wilson might be a little light for me, but so A-Rich at 88, he's just going around QBs that I think have an easier time to hit spike weeks.
I agree.
And for that price, like what's his single game ceiling for points? I have it around like 33 points. Also, that is with 2 rushing touchdowns, 200 passing yards.
If you really think about it, too, nobody drafted a quarterback. I mean, hypothetically, they probably may have drafted AR right after that, but like not a single quarterback drafted right after that. Like he could have gotten, potentially a better pick there and then got AR at 104. Potentially.
Do you think AR's fallen to 104 though? He's not that type of player that falls is the problem.
There was a lot of quarterbacks that people that had quarterbacks is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right. So there was teams behind him that weren't high on QBs or already had QBs.
Like see, if you look down the list, he had, everybody had their guy already.
I copy. But A-Rich, and if he does hit and have a good season with Russell Wilson, could work for sure. Andrews and Conklin, I like this pairing.
Yeah, that's a good pairing, yeah.
Kenneth Walker at 56, love that. Alexander Madison, P. Ryan, Alvin Kamara, Jeff Wilson, Pierre Strong.
I love the running backs, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good group. This is where I'm selecting Kamara is like basically a round after.
Yeah.
Because depending on your pod, like it happens a decent amount.
Yeah, I have him in my 5.55 this year.
I'm still preferring Jeff Wilson over Mostert. I don't know if I'm the only crazy person in the world. I'm buying the dip.
I'm buying all three. I have no idea what to expect there. I mean, they're going to come out and just play the fucking the guy from Washington. I can't think of his name. I'm so concerned about who's going to play for them.
It's Max Payne. It's going to be that way for a little bit. I think the word
at line running back. Who knows? Like,
I think the word out of OTAs was A-Chain did put on a little bit of weight, and you have to think that because he came in light to the combine, you have to think that he wanted to run real fast for 40. So I'm not surprised that he put on weight. Diggs
he was a track star. Like he knew when he was getting his bread buttered.
Diggs, Olave, Judy, Addison, Rice. Yeah, I love this group.
Yeah, it doesn't get
I think this is a good group.
Who do you have in quarterback? Russ. So yeah, that's a good pairing with having Russ and that group with Judy and Marvin Mims.
Judy.
I feel like Judy and Mims play a similar type game, but if Judy gets hurt, then that's perfect for him.
P. Ryan with the pass catching. So
and maybe the number 1 running back if Javonte doesn't get back in time.
Right. No, definitely well correlated. Not a lot of correlation with A-Rich, but necessarily have to. I think it raises the ceiling when you have one pass catcher, but we did go Alec Pierce before ADP.
Yeah,
that might have thrown him off.
I think Josh Downs did as well.
Yeah, he did.
I think wide receivers in general went early.
Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones, and CJ Stroud. I'm cool with this triple here.
Yeah.
13 picks before. It's
I won't say
interesting.
I'm not as high on CJ, but
Yeah.
you are.
Kittle and Schultz. So he does have it correlated. I'm fine with these two. We're stopping with these two. I think that's fine.
Dude, Kittle's got some good lineups or good
spike weeks.
Yeah, and like he plays Arizona twice, and they haven't done anything to improve like their defense against tight ends. They play Seattle twice, which was the 32nd ranked. You know, there's so many good matchups for the.
Yeah, you started tight ends last year in DFS against Seattle. It didn't matter who it was.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
That was a rule. That was an absolute rule. So yeah, that's good to know. Good schedule. JT, Damian Pierce, Isaiah Pacheco, Jerome Ford, and Lenny. I'm cool with this group.
That's a good group. I don't like Taylor, but like,
is there any worry for Pacheco if they add? I mean, another. I don't think they'll bring in another Dusty RB, but McKinnon does add a lot of value in the red zone, which is kind of scary for Pacheco, in my opinion.
I'm not taking Pacheco at all, but like I could see where he's bringing a nice little floor. I don't think I should. Now I'm looking at it, I probably wouldn't take him for this team. He's got 2 floor pieces already, like high floor pieces with Pierce and Taylor. What's Taylor?
Picks after ADPs always nice.
Yeah, that's I'd say. I don't know.
But
he has spike week potential. I'll give him that. I just don't think he's bringing anything to the season long.
Game. So QBs were Watson, Jones, and Stroud. CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, Drake London, Al Lazard, Jalen Hyatt, DPJ, Josh Downs, and Justin Ross.
I like half of his receivers.
Cleveland. So he has a little Cleveland correlation, a double Cleveland stack. He has a little bit of Giants correlation.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's balanced. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
If your team's balanced, if you can hit on those teams, like if Cleveland has a good year, like better than expected, then this team should pay out.
Yeah.
DWAC in the live stream as well. Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Trey Lance.
Okay, 40 picks before ADP on Jared Goff here. I don't know what happened.
That had to be an auto.
Don't know what happened, my guy.
Freiermuth, Sam Laporta, and Taysom Hill. At least he correlated it for you. At least he correlated it. I am cool with Jared Goff and Smith just at ADP.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going at a ceiling, and I don't think he should be going that high.
Same feels. Gibbs, Sanders, Joe Mixon, Kendra Miller, and Kenneth Gainwell, 203.
I don't like almost any of his running backs. I just want Kendra Miller. It's kind of weird DWAC. I was very upset. My feelings are hurt.
I'm still fine with Joe Mixon because you're on the Chase Brown side of things, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm also on the Chase Brown side of things. But now I'm like, okay, I'm going to double down and I'm going to buy the dip at Joe Mixon because this could be the cheapest he gets.
Yeah, this could be my Josh Jacobs. Like I was kind of low on Josh Jacobs last year, and it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra.
Good for receivers.
I love that start.
Yeah.
That's why I think like 10 through 12 is just such good spots to be in. You can go these double elite wide receivers and you just are like hard as a rock.
Well, I wanted ASB so bad. I honestly, I think if we could do that, like a little spot over again, I'd rather go ASB at 10. And then I know that he's like PPR, but like ASB at 10 and then Waddle at that spot.
I know, but then I'd have no Bijan. Like I have to select Bijan when he falls to 9 or 10. Otherwise, I'll have
I agree.
No Bijan. So that's like my third Bijan share out of like these.
I got Bijan today. And it's like I have no shares of him, but it's like I don't know. I guess I should get a couple of shares.
DK, Marquise Brown, Nico Collins, Van Jeffy, and Paris Campbell. I'm cool with this group. I don't love Paris Campbell at the end, but
the way he's drafted his receivers towards the end, his three first receivers are all solid plays, right? And then he has 4 flyers. Marquise Brown's a flyer. He can be a PPR guy, but he's a flyer. Nico Collins is a deep threat. Van Jeffy's
and
a
Van
deep
Jeffy,
threat.
like I like
And
that.
Paris
Yeah.
Campbell is a deep threat. Like they're all deep threats. So
yeah, I'm
list
cool with it. They're best ball guys.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about like a lot of the Giants receivers. Like you think about Jalen Hyatt, Wendell Robinson at the end of the season. I expect him to be on the field more. Isaiah Hodgins even, and then Paris Campbell. You have Slayton, who's probably paid the most out of any of these guys.
Sterling Shepard's still there. Colin Johnson's still on the team. Like I'm not kidding.
He re-signed.
Yeah.
I mean, he might play 9 plays.
Jameson Crowder
again. Right.
Like
and Bryce Ford Wheaton, my dynasty prospect, made the team, which is always.
They have so many receivers there. Like, but Isaiah Hodgins is not really competing for anybody for his job, except for Colin Johnson, and it's like that's why I'm still kind of high on Colin Johnson. Like he could still win.
And then Darren Waller, who should honestly be the number 1 target out of any of these guys.
Yeah.
And if anyone can be an X
let's
receiver,
be honest, the Saquon Barkley should be the number 1 target.
It's true. It's probably going to happen too.
Yeah.
If anyone could be an X, it's Bryce Ford Wheaton, but undrafted free agent, like not really expecting anything this season from him. So RIP to those shares, everybody. All right. Anything for the people, Felix? You over on DK? You over on Underdog? You're zagging?
Just drafting on a DK until July. And then I'm going to have hopefully guests on like yourself, Pat, and others for coming in July. And we're going to start my own Patreon in July.
Patreon. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming out. If you enjoyed the live stream, drop a like on the way out. Make sure you follow Felix on Twitter, on Instagram. If TikTok's your thing, the dude's on TikTok. Big on TikTok. Thank you, guys. Pounders.